Om Sapakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Sapakaya Chadharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravadhishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Today's topic, the way to freedom, the way to true freedom. That's more important. What is true freedom? To realize one's own nature, to realize God, to see God, to know who you are. All these mean the same thing, true freedom. Once you attain that freedom, you are perpetually peaceful and blissful. Well, everybody wants to achieve that true freedom, but there's a definite way of getting into that. Very important step is you should have strong will. Very important point. Strong will. You have to find out whether you have sufficiently strong will or shaky. This will is caused by character. Character is manufactured by karma. See? Simply by thinking to achieve freedom will not give you freedom. You have to prepare yourself step by step. You have to become very strong, very determined. So, character is manufactured by karma. Swami Vivekananda puts it, as is karma, so is the manifestation of the will. So they are related to one another. Your will depends upon what type of karma you are doing. That will settle the matter. That means karma plays an important role in achieving the true freedom. Now, we are focusing on the point karma. Man is the product of his own karma. All his actions, his attitudes, his thoughts and his feelings have been shaped by his past karma. If our present is the result of our past actions, it is logical to conclude that our future will depend upon our present actions. And as we know, it is character that raises man above the beasts, and it is character that manifests the potential divinity of man and makes him realize his true freedom. So, it is important to know that karma shapes character. I am leading you step by step. By the time I conclude my topic, you should be able to achieve some kind of true freedom. Well, at least you will appreciate. Now, coming to the point, coming to the word karma. We have heard of this word so many times. Every day people using this word karma, karma, karma. They used in so many ways, meaning so many things. The word karma means two things. One, action, and the second, its effect. Swami Vivekananda says in the complete works, the word karma is derived from the Sanskrit kru, means to do. All action is karma. Technically, this word also means the effects of actions. In connection with metaphysics, it sometimes means the effects of which our past actions were the causes. Now, karma means work. We need to know the importance of work in our life. The whole edifice of human civilization has been built through work. The whole world is so much active on account of the incessant work done by the people. Work has changed the very face of our planet and has made it a living fairyland. It is through work that man has dived deep into the fathomless depth of his own being and has brought out the wisdom which has made him immortal. So for everything, karma is the root. Now, I told you in the beginning, karma shapes the character. Now we need to know something about character. It is an ambiguous term which has been used by scholars and writers in a variety of senses. For example, in literature, character is used to denote a particular personality. Biologists use it to mean the peculiar feature of a certain organism. As for instance, in a phrase like inherited character. Character is generally used as synonymous to personality. In this sense also, it signifies some special characteristic of a man or a woman. But this is not the complete meaning of the term character. Although character includes the psychosomatic part of human personality, It means something more than it. Character is a higher and deeper aspect of human being. It doesn't mean only the manifestation of psychophysical function, but also involves the ethical and spiritual aspects of a person. Character is an integral whole, which is the result of so many factors of human life, past and present. Swami Vivekananda says that character is the aggregate of a person's past tendencies. As pleasure and pain pass before his soul, they have upon it different pictures, and the result of these combined impressions is what is called person's character. If you take the character of any person, it really is but the aggregate of tendencies, the sum total of the bent of his mind. That is how Swami Vivekananda has analyzed this word character. Thus we see that character is a complex organization, an aggregated whole resulting from the physical, mental, moral and spiritual actions of an individual. Therefore, we can say that in essence, character is the integration of personality and the way the inherent divinity of the soul is manifested in day-to-day life. It reaches its culmination when the person fully realizes his divinity and attains true freedom. Now the next point, how character is built. You have to pay attention to every aspect. Then only you can expect true freedom. People keep on grumbling, oh, we do lot of spiritual practices, we don't move an inch. Why? Because you are not giving proper attention to all these aspects which I am talking now. You have to build up your character. Very, very important. Build up your character first. Then take the next. Don't get confused. First is to be done first. Second is to be done next. You have to go in an orderly way. We have the power within us to remake ourselves. Don't feel condemned. Oh, I am gone, I am hopeless, I am done for, finished. This life is totally gone. Don't get into that kind of desperation. You can remake yourself. That is your power. Everyone has got that power. That is what is meant when I say each soul is potentially divine. So that potential divinity, it pushes you to make yourself properly. The proper application of this power towards a higher end produces character. Character is a process of reorganization of our whole being. It is not the product of an automatic, natural, evolutionary process like the instinct or physical characteristic of an organism. Character is something which is built by a process of conscious organization of our whole being towards a definite higher end. When a person consciously strives to attain certain high moral and spiritual qualities, refrains from immoral and unspiritual activities, and tries to integrate his personality, then only will character be built. Volition is an important factor in building character. Conscious and willful effort towards reorganization of personality and attainment of the highest end of human life is an unavoidable aspect of the character building process. Now I am going to the next step. I am leading you step by step. The process of character building. Next step. The ancient rishis, the yogis, the spiritual masters, they have probed very deep into human nature and discovered fundamental principles of character formation. We need to know that. You have heard of the word yama and niyama in Raja Yoga. These principles form the foundation of the whole yoga system. They found that character is formed by habits, and that by changing one's habits, one's character can be transformed. See, the hope is given. Don't lose hope. It is said that character is a bundle of habits. And we know that habits are formed by repeated actions. Repeated actions. A little observation will reveal that the action which has become automatic today was not so in the beginning. There was a time when the action was difficult and required conscious effort. If a man repeats a certain kind of action for sufficient number of times, that action becomes easy or natural for him. That's why we keep on telling the spiritual aspirants, do every day repeat God's name. Do every day sing bhajans. Do every day think about spiritual ideas repeatedly. Then matter becomes easy. After some time, he needs no conscious effort to do the action. It has become automatic. Without any difficulty, you will be repeating God's name mentally and you will be meditating on God easily. This kind of established action is called habit. The total of such established habits is the character of a person. Another important point to be noted in this phenomenon is that there was at first a conscious thought behind the action. A mental process was also involved in the action. This process left behind an impression in the mind. Every time the action was repeated, a similar mental impression was also created in the mind. These impressions caused by our actions on our minds are called samskaras. In the Hindu system of psychology, we call them as samskaras. Again, Swami Vivekananda says in one of his teachings, samskara can be translated very nearly by inherent tendency. Using the simile of a lake for the mind, every ripple, every wave that rises in the mind, when it subsides, do not die. It doesn't die out entirely, but leaves a mark and future possibility of that wave coming out again. This mark, with the possibility of the wave reappearing, is what is called samskara. Every work that we do, every movement of the body, every thought that we think leaves such an impression on the mind stuff, and even when such impressions are not obvious on the surface, they are sufficiently strong to work beneath the surface subconsciously. What we are every moment is determined by that sum total of these impressions on the mind. What I am just at this moment is the effect of the sum total of all the impressions of my past life. This is really what is meant by character. Swamiji has thus very nicely clarified. It is clear from the above analysis of character by Swamiji that karma or action is the real force behind that builds our character. Karma is a neutral power. It can make or mar its doer depending on the direction he gives to this tremendous force. The life of everyone depends upon how he uses this force of karma and to achieve what end. Coming again to the subject karma. Karma in general can be divided into two categories, good and bad. Good karma produces good results in life, and bad karma produces bad results in life. Everybody knows it. Similarly, good karmas produce good mental impressions, and bad karmas produce bad mental impressions. Good impressions on their part induce us to do more and more good karma, and bad impressions urge us to do bad karma. That is how we are pulled between good and bad alternately in our day-to-day life. Thus, karma and samskara together constitute a cyclic process which lies at the very foundation of character formation. The first step towards building a good character is to use this tremendous power of karma to produce good impressions on our mind. But this can't be done unless we fix a lofty ideal for our life itself. Because it is the ideal which stimulates our sentiments and emotions and inspires our will to strive for the attainment of the ideal. Thus, keeping a lofty ideal for our life around which we can build our character is a primary condition of building a good character, lofty ideal. Now, the place of the ideal in character formation. Next point. It is the ideal which gives meaning to our life and direction to our karma. Without ideal, no life. Please note that. The ideal is the very purpose to which life itself is devoted. The ideal is a conceptual goal, the attainment of which quenches all the longings of the soul and gives it a sense of fulfillment. Craving for completeness and fulfillment is the basic urge of the human soul. The true ideal, when it is realized, must satisfy completely this basic urge of the soul. The eternal quest of the soul cannot be quenched by ephemeral things, however great and grand they may be. Spiritual knowledge and self-realization is the only thing which can completely satisfy this basic urge of the human soul and can give it a sense of completeness and fulfillment. Therefore, the only ideal on the basis of which personality can be integrated and an excellent character can be built is the spiritual ideal. Spiritual ideal. That means the ideal of self-realization. In other words, to know who you are. And since all individual souls are part of an absolute reality or God, self-realization means God realization. If you know who you are, you will know what God is. The next point which I am going to talk now is what is the part played by the will. Character building is a twofold process, negative and positive. We have observed in the beginning that volition plays a very important role in the process of character building. As soon as the ideal is fixed, man has to examine himself and see what emotions, what sentiments and what qualities are there in his personality which are congenial to the ideal. You have to examine them. And what are the sentiments, emotions and actions which oppose the ideal and may become obstacles in the way of realization of the ideal. You have to find out, examine yourself thoroughly, sincerely, honestly. You have to do that. At the very outset, one has to control those emotions and sentiments which may hamper his progress towards the realization of the ideal, and has to give up those actions which are detrimental to the building of good character. Here comes the need of volition or will, determination. Are you strongly determined? Very important point. Only finding out good and bad qualities or sentiments and emotions in one's personality is not enough to build one's character. Have satsang, engage yourself in spiritual activities, force yourself to do something good. That's very important. Now we shall try to see how will functions and how we can use it to realize our ideal. For all practical purposes, will may be regarded as the function of one part of the chitta, mind as a whole. When an ideal appeals to our being, what happens? It stimulates a strong desire in us to respond to it. This desire, being supported by sentiments and emotions, becomes so intense and dominant that it subordinates and subdues all other sentiments and emotions not congenial to the ideal. and inspires us to do such acts and to cherish such sentiments and emotions as are congenial to the ideal. At this stage, the intense desire becomes will. Intense desire becomes will. This will is further strengthened by constant use and practice. When the appealing ideal first stimulates a desire, it is likely to be opposed by the forces of past habit. He may like to come to chapel, but the past samskaras are so strong, he may be dragged to some other place to have some entertainment in some club. If it happens, at this stage, the desire has not become the will. The forces of habit try to subdue the incipient will and tempt the person to surrender to them and follow the old rut. But those who want to build good character don't yield to them, but resolve more strongly to fight against them. They continually exercise the incipient will every time they are tempted, and through repeated practice forge a strong and powerful will. A fully developed mature will becomes a permanent faculty of such a person's mind. Thus, through practice, one creates one's will and gains more and more strength. His old habits gradually lose their power of dragging the person against his will. That is the indication your will is becoming stronger and stronger. How long has man to exert and exercise his will in order to subdue those tendencies that tempt him to do things that debase him and corrupt his character? When can we say that a person has been established in good character? Swami Vivekananda again has given us the criterion of a fully formed character. Again, Swami Vivekananda says in his teachings, when a man has done so much good work and thought so many good thoughts, then there is an irresistible tendency in him to do good in spite of himself. And even if he wishes to do evil, his mind as the sum total of his tendencies will not allow him to do so. The tendencies will turn him back. He is completely under the influence of good tendencies. When such is the case, a person's good character is said to be established. This is the standard by which we have to judge our character. We have to examine ourselves and see what are the tendencies that are prominent in our character. We have to find out what is the basic motive behind our actions. There must be constant self-examination and introspection in our life. Constant, regular. Character formation is a continuous process, and we have to be always alert. If our good tendencies are becoming stronger day by day, then we may say we are advancing in the right direction towards the establishment of good character. The next point is intensity of good deeds and thoughts. Man discovered the laws governing electricity, and by applying those laws became the master of the tremendous power. Now he is using it as his servant. Likewise, if a man knows the laws that govern the mind, he can control it by applying those laws and can make the best use of its power to realize his true freedom. Again, Swami Vivekananda tells, when persons do evil actions, they become more and more evil, and when they begin to do good, they become stronger and stronger and learn to do good at all times. We may therefore take it as a basic law of character formation that by repeating good actions and thinking good thoughts again and again, a good character gets established. While commenting on the aphorism of the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Swami Vivekananda tells, why should we practice? Because each action is like pulsations quivering over the surface of the lake. The vibration dies out, and what is left? Samskaras, the impressions. When a large number of these impressions are left on the mind, they coalesce and become a habit. It is said, habit is a second nature. It is first nature also, and the whole nature of man. Everything that we are is a result of habit. That gives us consolation, because if it is only habit, we can make and unmake it at any time. The samskaras are left by these vibrations passing out of our mind, each one of them leaving its result. Our character is the sum total of these marks, and according as some particular way prevails, one takes that tone. If good prevails, one becomes good. If wickedness, one becomes wicked. If joyfulness, one becomes happy. The only remedy for bad habits is counter habits. All the bad habits that have left their impression are to be controlled by good habits. Go on doing good, thinking holy thoughts continuously. That's the only way to suppress bad impressions. Never say any man is hopeless, because he only represents a character, a bundle of habits which can be chucked by new and better ones. Character is repeated habits, and repeated habits alone can reform character. This is the redeeming message even for the lowest sinner in the world. Whatever sins a man might have committed, he is never doomed forever. He is not condemned to an eternal hell, as people think. Every sinner in the world has a future. It is his bad karma that has made him a sinner. But every bad karma can be counteracted by good karma. Every bad tendency can be controlled by a good tendency. If the bad karmas have made our character bad, good karmas can equally unmake it and can make our character good. This is a message of great encouragement and hope. In whatever condition of life and in whatever state of mind a man may be, from that very point he can start a new life by trying to rebuild his character. Don't keep on brooding about the past. Don't even think of yesterday. Think of today. Think of this very moment. Start doing things in a proper way. Start rebuilding your character if you are really serious about getting true freedom. Man is the architect of his own character. He has got the tremendous power of karma at his disposal. If the bad karmas have made him a sinner today, it is 1,000 times more sure that his good karmas will make him a saint tomorrow. Because in essence, man is divine and not a sinner. When man starts using the power of good karma, his mind gets more purified. As the power of good karma tears off the veils covering the soul, what happens? The light of the Atman, the ever-shining light of the Atman manifests itself more and more. This acts as a powerful check on bad tendencies and a spontaneous stimulus to good tendencies. And a time comes when the senses and the mind of the person become incapable of doing bad acts or thinking bad thoughts, only then can a person be said to be established in good character. That man alone is free, who is always free to be good in thought, word and deed. True freedom is therefore built on a pure character. Pure character is therefore the way to true freedom. Secret has been given to you. Thank you very much. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavagai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. May the Divine Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we work in harmony with great vigor. May our study be illuminating and fruitful. May we not hate each other. Peace, peace. Peace be unto all.